This is the Brabant Bulletin, brought to you by the European Brabant Registry of America, where people, passion, and preservation are our mission. Hello, Brabanters. Today we are joined by a very special guest all the way from the Netherlands. His name is Ton van der Weerden, and he's known throughout the globe for his artistry, not just in front of the canvas, but behind the camera. And he's got an in-depth knowledge, working history with the European Brabant breed. And we are very, very lucky to have him with us today. Ton, welcome to the podcast.
Well, hello. Hello to you, everybody.
I became a really, really big fan of yours when I first discovered this breed. And I have always been impressed by your understanding of their personality, their conformation, their type, but I'm getting ahead of myself talking about horses. I really want to talk about you first. So, Ton, tell me a little bit about yourself. I know you're from the Netherlands, but were you from there originally? What's your story?
Yes, I'm from the Netherlands, and it's near to Belgium, and it's not the same country. I live in the south of the Netherlands, and it's called North Brabant. And Brabant is, of course, known to everybody for the horses. And there is also a South Brabant, but they don't call it South Brabant. That is in Belgium. So I live in the south, and I'm 66 years old now. And since I was 3 or 4 years old with the horses, we didn't have a farm at home. My father was not a farmer. He was a builder, and he didn't have nothing with horses. But I had a grandpa, he was farmer, and he was a horseman, a real horseman. So when I was 3 years old, I went with him to the farm of my uncle, and he had always one big, beautiful Brabant Trekpaard. And I can remember a little bit that I was a very small boy, 3 years old, and they went into the farm, and I kept standing there with that horse. And I think that is the beginning. And later on, I heard people say, "Oh, you are that little boy who always stand with that horse." Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's true. It's never gone. Pardon?
Do you have any pictures from when you were little standing next to the horse?
No, I don't have it. No.
Oh, man.
People in my village told this story when some 10 or 15 years ago. So, but I always liked the horses. And later on, we didn't have a farm and we didn't have a horse. But in my heart, I think I'm a farmer. And we didn't have a horse. I started to paint. I had a lot of sketch books with horses in it. A kind of compensation for having no horse. And later on, I bought me a camera, a good one, and that was the start of the photography. And there were a lot of books, and I cut it out, the photos, and I put them in a book. So I had my own.
Okay, horses. like a collage book or an inspiration.
Yes, a collage book. That's the word. Yes. Yeah.
I have to say, Ton, you and I share a similar history in terms of being young, always being around horses. When I wasn't able to be around my horses physically, I was cutting little paper horses out of magazines.
That's it.
Making collages, sketching them all the time. Always sketching them.
Yes. You still have those collage books?
Oh, it's probably in my mom's basement somewhere.
Yeah, I have them. It's very nice. And I had to find a way to have a horse. But for my dad and my mom, that was not possible. We didn't have a farm. We didn't have a place to have a horse. So when I was 10 or 11 years old, I went with my uncle to 's-Hertogenbosch. And that is in the middle of Holland. And all the farmers with the Trekpaarden came once in the 2 years to Den Bosch. And as a little boy, I was also there. And you had to fill on a paper who was going to be the champion and the second champion and the third. So I got on my bike when I was 13, 14, 15 years old, 16, 17, to all the farmers in our village. At the time, there were in every street there were farmers. Now, not anymore. And I asked, "Are you going to fill in that form?" "Oh no, you can take it." And when I was 17 years old, I was there. It was 1974 in 's-Hertogenbosch. I had the good answer for the 3 horses.
Basically guessing or betting who was
Yeah.
going to
Not betting,
place.
but guessing. Just,
Okay, right.
It didn't cost money.
Right.
And we were with 6, and then there was a lottery. There was one. The first prize was a Mercedes-Benz, and then a full, and then so 6 prizes.
Wow.
So I won the 6th prize. It was a Connemara full, but it was not very healthy. So it came to me. I had a horse, and I took the insurance, and in a few months it died.
Oh,
But
wow.
I got the money, 400 guilders then. So I bought me another one, and that was the beginning. So, and I could place the horse to a friend of my family. And since that time, when I was 17, 16, 17, I always have had a horse until now.
Were
Always
they
one.
were they always a Brabant or different breeds?
It came later. In the
Okay.
first, it was a Haplinger, and I used them for carrier driving, as I also do with the Brabant. So in 2005, I think, I bought my first Brabant full.
So you've been owning a Brabant for nearly 20 years now. Obsessed with them for much
Yeah.
longer, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also looked at the Haflingers who were also there in 's-Hertogenbosch. It's the same stud book. Haflingers and Trekpaarden is the same stud book organization. It was 3 days. The horses came on Thursday afternoon. Then on Friday there was the keuring. They all individual come for the jury. And on the Saturday there were shows. And I always wanted to see the stallions, and they were so impressive. And that was the beginning. And since 1968, and then was 1970, 1972, every 2 years. Since that time, I've always been there. Once I've been there, you cannot go. You cannot stay home and think, oh, that's happening now and that's happening. So you have to be there.
So for the better part of 20 years, you've had a Brabant of your own.
My third one now, yes.
Okay, so you're on your third one, but what do you do exactly with your Brabants? What's your focus? What's your passion with them?
My passion is driving with them, carriers driving. I didn't have the opportunity to ride the horses when I was young. I didn't live at a farm. And later on, when I got that foal, and when I got those several Haflingers, I always made them ready that I could drive them in the carriage. I also work with the Trekpaard, and that is the most beautiful thing what you can do with your horse. But it takes time, and you have to be patient. And I had a horse, and last year I sold it. I bought that horse in 2005 as a foal, and last year it went to Belgium. I sold it. He wanted to have a horse, and he had some cows, and he had another horse for companion. I had this horse 18 years, and she lives there, and she's still healthy, and it's very nice to see her between the cows and a little Shetland pony. And then I bought another one, a foal from 1 year old, and it died in August. And now since November, I have another one. And I started 2 weeks ago with the first lesson to make her ready. Just 5 minutes a day. Nothing goes wrong. Just stop. Most people, they think, oh, it's okay. Oh, I can go another 5 minutes. No. Just stop and try it the other day. Only success experiences. And that's what I do.
So what got you into painting?
When I was 8, 9 years old, I started sketching the horses. And later on, I started painting. I went to middle school and then afterwards high school. And I became a teacher of arts at the school for the children between 12 and 17 years old, music and arts, but no horses. So when I finished that, I thought I'm going to paint what I like, just what I think is beautiful. So I started to paint horses, and that was the end of the 80s, I think, 1989 or 88, something like that. And since then, I paint horses.
Do you mainly focus on horses that you appreciate, or are these commissioned pieces?
Oh, yeah. People come to me and they say, "Can you paint my horse?" Yeah, and then I go and speak to them. What are their wishes? And then I take a lot of photos, and then I start painting. But it's always very nice to make just what you like.
You want to share some of your work with us and maybe talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, here's my website, and it's not complete, you see, but yeah, this is a horse. It's a stallion who is still alive. It's now 2005, 19 years old. It's just an impression. It wasn't a commission, this one. So this mare, I painted it in 2022, as you can see. It was a commission for a breeder from Belgium. It's a big painting.
What medium are you painting in?
Acrylics. This is a canvas, 80 by 100 centimeters, kind of a big work. And this one, for example, 60 by negative and 90 centimeters. And now, yeah.
So you're doing quite sizable pieces where there's...
Yeah, I like much, but these are water colors, aquarelle, and this is only 30 by 30 centimeters, like this. So this is aquarelle, watercolors, and you make that on a table. It's flat, and canvas stands right up. I always painted other horses, and
cows even. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I knew you painted cows. That's pretty spectacular.
I like cows very much, and this is a bull, yeah. And it's also a big work, 100 centimeters by 120 centimeters. And I made a lot of pictures from a friend of mine who had this cattle, and it's very nice. And also with photographing, I like cows here. I got a question from someone a few years ago, and he said, "Can you make a painting of the Jetjes Arthur?" I did not hear of him, but he says, "Yeah, that's my favorite bull." And I say, "Yes, I can do it." So, and now he became a kind of friend, and he was so honored by this work because as a young boy he had worked on the insemination station. So yeah, every painting is of course a story. And here another it's a cow. Yes, it's a cow. Yeah, with someone who died. They say, can you paint my husband and his favorite cow? So this I made already in 2007, as you can see.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what I do.
I see a little icon. It's a black and white sepia image.
Beroemde, famous trekpaarden. Yeah.
So are these all your studies of famous historical?
Those sepia colors are really. I made it in a very short time. Sketches. This is a famous mare from from Belgium, Tulp van het Hooghof, BS, Belgium Stud Book, 71. And then the number of this mare. It was a project, and I also used some of these sketches, watercolors in our book. And here is Cousteau de Marche. He is a very famous. He was a very famous stallion from Belgium, and at the time of 1954, so a long time ago. But of course, there were no color photos of those horses. All was in that time black and white. So yeah, I thought I can make them in color. So I know how a rowan looks like. So I can paint it. And the same is here for Nico van Melo. He was on the same farm, but just a few years before. He was a blue rowan. And yeah, so I made a painting of a blue stallion, and it is Nico van Melo, the most famous stallion in Holland. Yeah.
Wow. And so for the people who are listening, maybe didn't see that scroll at the bottom, it says 1939
champion 1939. Yeah. That's quite a story, this stallion. And there is a book about this stallion. He was born in 1935 in Zeeland. That was just the time after the First World War. And in Zeeland, that part of Holland in the south, they had, of course, the best Belgian mares. And in 1935, this foal was born, this stallion foal. In that time, most people were Vos, the red color, white manes and white tail. So this foal was born from a father chestnut and a mother brown rowan, and they didn't like him, so they sold him to another part of Holland. And yeah, he was fabulous. So the people in Zeeland, they had a lot of regrets that they sold this foal. And half a year after that, they sold this one to Limburg, to the other part of Holland. He became champion in 1939. So, and there's a lot more to tell about this.
Well, I think it's kind of funny, Ton, because right now I think there's such a demand for blue roans here in the USA, and so many folks.
It's fashion. It is fashion.
It's the fashion right now, and I try to encourage people to look past the color and look at the conformation and all the other sort of breed traits. That the color is great. And yes, you can have your favorites, but and I think he is a great example. They saw his color and were like, it's not the fashion, so let's pass him on. And look at how great this horse is.
Yeah, but when the farmers got a foal from Nico van Melo, he gave all colors, but the blue became a fashion at that time. So a lot of people wanted to have a blue rowan foal of Nico van Melo. They could sell them for a lot of money.
It sounds a lot like Mateo's legacy in some ways.
Yeah, it's also blue. But a good horse has no color, huh?
True. Very, very true. We are now going to take a brief interlude to enjoy a song performed by Ton and his musical partner, a folk song called Nico van Melo, about the famed stallion. In the video, you will actually see a stuffed head of the famed horse. Enjoy.
Over Kinderen streken de dekken, hij kruide van gat voor gat. Ik hoor van Melo, duivels in werk vandaan. La 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. Wij kinderen uit de buurt, wij wonen dat toch zo keer zien. Op heel veel plaatsen zei vader, ik kom naar huis toe met je. Maar wij gaan kijken en doen wat ik ook nog zeg. Ik zag onze gelukkige mieken, dankzij het gat in de hek. Nico van Melo, wie hoorde van dat weer nooit. Nico van Melo, we kenden al verdienen nooit. Kinderen streken de dekken, nee, kruiden van gat naar gat. Nico van Melo, heuvels in werk vandaan. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. Nico was de vader, als ik het ooit zal zien. Hij ontzaglijk veel kinderen, wel meer dan wij samen misschien. Hij stierf op zijn werk en hij kwam voor de laatste keer voor. De laatste luidjes mogen we Nico te zwaar. Nico van Melo, wie hoorde van dat ver nog nooit. Nico van Melo, we kenden al verdienen nooit. Kinderen streken de dekken, nee, kruiden van gat naar gat. Nico van Melo, den duivels in werk vandaan. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
And now, back to the podcast. So who are we looking at here? Is this...
This is a stallion who is still alive now. I made this painting in 2020, and it is Hero van de Maaskanthoeven.
Okay.
And it's a big painting, 80 by 120 centimeters, and this now in the exhibition that I still have.
Let's talk about your exhibition, Ton, because that was quite a
Exhibit some paintings, and I found a beautiful location, an old farm, and he says, "Yeah, but I also want to have your photos." I always kept them separate. I never put them together. The museum said, "I want to have both. I like the combination," and it is really successful. It is now until the 1st of April, but a lot of people and Trekpaard lovers came to the exhibition, and they are very glad, and I am also very glad. My goal is always to show how beautiful it is. I make a lot of pictures, and you know that.
I haven't seen a bad painting from you ever. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about your photography, because I know you've mentioned it, but we haven't really quite seen it just yet.
Yeah, I think it is known by a lot of people, and that's why I put it on Flickr. So if you want to see pictures of Trekpaard of Brabant horses, you have to click here.
Talk to me a little bit, because you go to breeders' farms. Can you talk to me about the relationships that you've developed with breeders to gain access and to have them trust you to photograph their horses?
Yeah, that's also a matter of a long time. I started when I was 15, 16 years old. And since that time, all the people see me walking around with a camera. So at a certain moment, they know, oh, when he is there, he takes nice photos. The people know you and they ask if you come to photograph their horse. And so it's a kind of network in Holland and in Belgium. And I went with Eddie van Langenhoven, the owner of Matteo van Rietenhof. He's a stallion keeper. And for 3-4 years, he drove through whole Belgium to the breeders, to the mares to inseminate. So we came in Belgium then at places that you can't imagine. When I started 20 years ago, and every year I went one day with him from north to south, east, west through Belgium. We started in the morning at 7 or 7:30, and we came back at 9 or 9:30, and then we drove 600 or 500, 600 kilometers, and we were on the most beautiful places. So I also came there at their farms, and then I always try to take a picture with the owner and his horse, and that is in my latest book with 300 photos. A man or a woman and his or her horse, all in black and white. Yeah. And I made a selection. Yeah. But as a photographer, you have to see that it is special. Yeah? You have to see the light. You have to see the beautiful expression of the horse and of the man. And in my book, the first photo is from 1978, and the last photo is from 2023. And a lot of people who are in the book they already died.
Oh wow!
That's a consequence. Huh? But it is beautiful, and the people who are in there, everyone wants to have books. So in 2 months' time, I sold all my books.
I can't wait to get my hands on my copy, Ton. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about what's next for you. What projects are you working on?
The 1st of April, the exhibition stops, and it was good. But I had to spend a lot of time there, and for the before, and to make the texts, and it is a lot of work. So now I have the feeling I didn't paint enough. I didn't photograph not enough, and so I don't have a plan. But it's becoming spring, and then I think I have to go there, and I have to go there, I have to go there. So
are most breeders in the Netherlands and Belgium, are they breeders of maybe one mare or two mares? Are they like back, or are they large scale farms?
Most of the breeders, they just have one or two horses. There are not very few who have 8 or 10 or more horses. Just a few in Belgium and in Netherlands. Yeah.
And you've been around to most of these farms, and you know most of the breeders. Do you have a sense of what the population is of these horses now today?
It's difficult to say, because of the farmers. They have cows or pigs, and when they were born, they have to be in administration, and also when they die. So everything is known at that administration, but it's not with the horses.
Huh.
They register when they are born, and when you sell a horse, you also should administrate that, and you have to give it to the stud book. But that's not what is happening, and they do not register when a horse dies. So I think in Holland or Belgium, but it's just a guess, maybe 3,000 horses. I don't know. Not much.
Hey, so Ton, if people want to follow you on Facebook or Instagram, or we're looking at your website right now, where can they find you?
Now I go to Facebook. Here I am. Come on. Yeah. And these are the pictures I made not last Saturday, but the Saturday before, an exhibition in Brabant. So just my name and you can find me.
Dear listeners, if you want to find Ton van der Weerden, he's also on the European Brabant Registry of America's website. And we have a profile of him there. We link back to his books, his photos, his beautiful artwork, and of course, his social media channels. And you can stay abreast of everything that's happening in the Netherlands and Belgium and our horses' cousins back in Europe. So be sure to visit EuropeanBrabant.com and you will find Ton right there. Ton, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the podcast and for sharing your wonderful work. Of course, I'm going to stay tuned for more awesome photos.
Thank you. It was very nice. Yes, thank you.